Hey, you sexy perverts. Welcome back to Sex Works, a podcast for sex workers by a sex worker. I am Katrina Black, and I am here with my husband, Adam.
What's up, sexy? How you doing?
I'm good. I feel great
I
tonight.
feel good, too. I'm not going to tell you how we got there. What? It is what it is, baby boo. Don't hate, shoot. Hey, this is going to be going on YouTube, so do your best to keep those titties inside of that shirt.
I don't wanna.
So we don't have a guest tonight. I think we have one scheduled for Tuesday, and I'm not going to tell you who it is because you never know if these things don't pan out.
Pan out, yeah.
But so we have a guest, hopefully on Tuesday, but we thought we'd just do one. We're not going to have a guest every episode. You know, if we have a story we want to tell, something we want to talk about.
Yeah, I think it's fun just to have a conversation. You know, we have a lot we can talk about. So
we have a, even if we didn't want to do guests, which that's going to be hopefully the main part of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But even if we didn't want to, we have a million episodes that we could do off the crazy stuff you've done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
It's nuts. But I think tonight, you said you wanted to just kind of talk about...
Like, since the podcast is Sex Works and it's by a sex worker for sex workers, I think it'd be fun just to kind of talk about, like, how I got into being a sex worker. Because it wasn't, like, my goal as a child.
No. I don't think it's any girl's... It's funny how if you asked yourself, like, in high school, if you were going to be a sex worker, you'd be that kind of girl, oh, my God, ooh, like... No, that's impossible.
Like, what is a sex? I would think that just means prostitute.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I knew.
Well, even if you knew it was girls, like, making porn and stuff, you'd have been like, no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely not.
So it's crazy how women, or people, not just women, can evolve into, at one point in their life, being completely disgusted by it, to... It's like the most fun. It's like the best job you've ever had.
Yeah, I think that would be like a fun thing to ask our guests. Like... Because it's got to be like that for everybody. You never think that that's what you're going to do when you grow up. You know what I mean? So when was the time that they found out that they were going to... Did you stop?
No.
Oh. So when was the switch? When did it happen? What was it that made somebody decide that this is what they want to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to look for something real quick. So start off by telling them kind of... Because you didn't start off by being a sex worker. You didn't start off by saying, "Look, I want to make some videos, make some money doing this." It took a long time to get to that point. So tell them kind of how. You don't tell them specific instances,
right?
But how did we go? Because we used to just let me preface this a little bit, then I'll let you go. Before we got married, up until we got married, and probably up till a little bit after we were married. We've been together for 18 years, married for 16 of it. I was a jealous person. Yeah. I would get jealous if I even thought you were looking at guys driving down the road. No matter what. I was that guy. I was young. I was jealous, had a temper. But something happened, and we just kind of started talking about it. I'm just going to preface it. I just prefaced it by we
used to be jealous.
We used to be the antithesis of what you see now.
Of what we are today.
So kind of talk about that transition a little bit and how way before you got actually into the sex work.
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't know what it was in your head that switched from being a very jealous man to a guy who enjoyed his wife being with other men. But that's how it started. You know, it was us just talking about me having sex with other men. And I told him, you know, we talked about how I wanted to experience other cock and stuff like that. And that's how it started. And so then, you know, I started going out to the club, and it started small like that. It was just having fun. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, I wanted to record it so you could see it. And do you remember what we did before we started recording it?
Well, for the people who don't know, do you want to tell them how? Because first of all, this stuff happened a long time ago,
right?
And we didn't plan on what exactly we're going to talk about tonight. Yeah. So it's hard to remember back 18. Well, I guess this would have been about 13, 14 years. You know what I'm saying? Uh-huh. But before let's give them. Okay, so what were you saying? I'm sorry.
Do you remember how what we did before we started recording it.
We just talked about it, right?
Yeah, we talked about it, and then I started doing it, going out to a club or meeting just a random guy, and that was so exhilarating. That was because it was so new to us.
Yeah.
And just the thought of the fantasy of doing it, and then actually starting to do it, it was just.
Yeah, but we never really planned on doing it, and then you went to the club one night. There's so much to unpack here. And that's why we stuttered for about 30 seconds straight. There's so much to unpack that it's kind of hard to know where to start.
Right.
Like, because you don't want to put the cart in front of the horse. Plus, we're a little fucked up. So,
what?
So, I'm trying to think. Should we start from how you, like the first, because I was the first person you had sex with.
Right. I was a virgin before you. You were the first dick that I ever saw.
Yeah. So whenever you did something for the first time outside of me, it wasn't it was you cheated on me.
Right.
Even though we had talked about it,
it was just a fantasy. It wasn't something that was ever supposed to really happen.
And you never really wanted to.
Right.
Like, it took you a while to warm up to the fact to even do it. But then whenever you wanted to do it, we talked about it and you were super into it. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot of black guys, talking about that. But the first time you actually did something with somebody, you want to get into that?
I mean, yeah. So the first time that I ever had sex with anybody outside of marriage, it was with two black guys.
Yeah.
Two black men.
How many girls can say
strangers?
How many girls can say that the second time they had sex, not the second time, but the second person they had sex with, was they got a train run on them by two black guys outside of a club?
What the fuck?
Yeah. You know what?
That doesn't happen.
You've always had it in you. And this is kind of a hindsight type deal, because at the time you don't think those kind of things. Mm-hmm. But later on, years later, you look back and it's like you were always kind of that easy to talk into stuff, people pleasing, anti-feminist, love dick. Like, you were that girl.
I always was.
It just, and now it's like, duh.
Yeah.
But back then you didn't see it. We just talked about it. But looking back, all the conversations we had trying to talk you into stuff, you always get the feeling now, hindsight, that you're one of those girls, not anymore, now it's just easy, but back then, you wanted to be a whore. You wanted to fuck black guys. You wanted to do those things, but it's almost like because you grew up so Christian, you wanted someone to pull that out of you.
Well,
you acted like no, you talked me into this, but the whole time you were like, fight harder to make me this whore, please.
Right. Well, and I think the thing was, like you said, I grew up extremely like Southern Baptist Christian, and there was so much guilt involved with, even when I was like a Bible thumping Christian going to church every time the doors were open, I was guilty. I felt guilty all the time. So, and that has been a struggle for me to get over the feeling of guilt that I just have from childhood. But I've always been a sexual person. I remember like masturbating when I was very, very young. Very young. I can barely even remember it.
You're like humping pillows and shit.
I was humping pillows. I remember, and I've never told you this. This is the first time you're ever going to hear this.
Find it hard to believe.
Yeah, but it's true. I've never told you this.
Were you keeping it from me, or you just now remember?
I've remembered off and on, but I never, like, whenever we were together, I never thought about telling you until now.
What the? Are you about to make some bullshit up?
No, I'm not.
You swear to God?
I swear.
Okay.
I remember right after my, I don't know how long my parents have been divorced, but I used to go with my dad to my uncle's house, my mom's brother. They were still like best friends. And so I went over there and he had two kids. And I remember being in their room one night.
So cousins.
Yeah, they're my cousins. A boy and a girl cousin. I don't remember exactly who was in the room. I know my cousin Robbie was in there. And I don't know if my cousin that was a girl was in there, his sister. But I do remember they had bunk beds in the room, and I was humping something in there, and they were in there. I feel like we were all humping something. But
that's a very different picture. I picture them kind of being busy in the room. You're over in the corner humping stuff.
Yeah.
But now you're all humping stuff. Like, which one is it? You know what I mean?
I think we were all humping stuff. I really think that. But it was
and
so...
how old do you think you were?
Oh, like five or maybe 6. I was super, super young. And
so you think you've always had like a sexual side to you?
yes. And even whenever I was like in kindergarten and first grade, all the way up to 3rd grade, I lived over in that big house. But the girl that lived down the street, her name was Andrea, and everybody called her Rue for some reason. I think about that all the time. But I would go over to her house, and we would go downstairs in the bathroom, the downstairs bathroom, and we would pretend like we were married.
And do what?
And we would lay on top of each other, and we would grind on each other.
Are you serious?
I am not kidding.
And how old are you at this point?
I was probably in 1st grade.
So you're like 6 or 7?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Oh my God, yes. And we got caught one time.
By who?
Her mom. And she told my mom.
What'd your mom do?
All I remember is we were sitting on the couch in the living room, and she was kind of getting onto me. But it wasn't like I was in big trouble.
Well, when you're that young, if they're old enough to know better, then it's like, what the fuck? But if they're that young, it's like, okay, you can't be doing that kind of deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but what's crazy is they never really knew the extent of it. I remember one time we were in my basement, and it was an unfinished basement, like concrete floors, poles, and all this stuff, metal poles. Anyway, it was weird. Anyway, there was a waterbed downstairs, and it was so weird. She was laying on her back, and she had like those kind of like the girls wear now, they're like jumpsuits or whatever, like their shorts and a shirt all in one. Mm-hmm. And she was wearing one of those and had blue flower buttons. And
how does a 7-year-old remember this?
I don't know, but I was like unbuttoning. Oh my God, this is so weird. I was unbuttoning it, and with each button, I was kissing her skin.
No, you were not.
Oh my God!
How do you know this stuff?
I remember it.
No, how do you know to do this stuff?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It was always inside of me. It's so funny. I think I told you I did some like lesbian stuff when I was little.
Yeah.
Yeah. But oh my God, it was crazy.
And then in kindergarten, you skipped ahead a little bit. In kindergarten, your first boyfriend was a little black kid.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
His name's Alex.
Yeah. This is like in Arkansas too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not like
he was like probably the only black boy in my preschool.
That's my point. There's not a whole lot of black people around here. So of course Katrina blacked her first boyfriend. She found the one black kid in the whole town to be a boyfriend.
Yeah,
with.
And do you remember the story about him, right? He asked me to marry him.
Yeah. So technically you're engaged. You
I've
were engaged.
been engaged for a very long time. I shouldn't even be married to you right now.
Do you think it would even be remotely possible to find this guy?
No, and I only know his name's Alex because my mom told me because she remembered. But
and people grow up and move out.
Yes,
there's so
I
many.
know. I've thought about that before.
How many black guys I wondered are named Alex? Because even if you never did anything,
there's one in our neighborhood.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Oh, I know. I wish.
You go up to his house when he's all frantic. What the fuck? 35 fucking year engagement, or I guess 29. 29 years.
Please stop.
I've been waiting on your ass.
I'm gonna choke. Oh my God, that was hilarious.
He's like, what?
His wife walks up to the door like,
Did you know he was engaged? Did you know he was engaged? Just blow up with so fucking spot.
Did you know he was engaged? You're gonna kill me.
That's funny.
Yeah, but so it was always there.
That's crazy.
It really is. Where did it come from? Where did the loving black men come from? I mean, that's the thing. Like when I'm on Twitter, and there's those people who say that I'm only doing this to get money. It's like so.
It's because they have no idea. Not even just your sexual career and how you started, but they don't even have a clue about your personal life way before that. But you know what? I mean. Okay, there probably are girls that like to fuck black guys on camera because it sells better now.
Yeah.
That's probably exists, and that's probably a little gross. But you can't cast a blanket on all girls that, I mean, you don't fuck just black guys, but mostly black. They have a thing for black guys, and obviously you're Katrina Black for crying out loud. But no other girl with black in their name or says the stuff they say. No one has the credentials and the past that you've had. No one's more in the right than you are. Period.
Yeah. Well, and that kind of goes into that also carries over into just me being a sex worker in the first place. And I think this is where we were going with this.
Yeah. Okay. So before we talk about that and the stripes you've earned, I feel like we're jumping ahead too far because I was kind of wanting you to discuss a little bit about how we went from just talking about it to getting to the point where you're actually being a sex worker.
Okay.
It goes way before that.
Right. So it started with us just talking about it.
In
one
bed,
night.
fucking.
Right.
Horny talk.
Horny talk.
Everyone has horny talk where they're in the middle of it. It's like you're ready to fucking kill your own kids to get this nut. And then after you come, you're like, what?
Dear Lord in heaven. Where's the Bible? Where's the Bible?
Yeah.
I'm going to hell. Okay, yeah. So it started with us just talking about it, like sex talk, super hot. It was something we did like every night. We were so turned on by it. And then I went to a club with a girlfriend of mine. Well, I was supposed to anyway, but she never showed up. And it was like a country club. We have a lot of those here in Arkansas. I wasn't really feeling the country club, especially when I'm by myself. I'm not into cowboys. I do not know how to line dance. And so, I just decided that as an adult woman who is all dressed up, I was going to go and have a good time. So I went to the hip hop club that was down the street, like down the strip or whatever. And so, I was nervous as hell. I'd never been to a hip hop club before. Yeah. And like you said, there's not a whole bunch of black people around here. So all of them,
all 1,000 of them go to that club on Saturday night.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep. But yeah, I went in, I was nervous, but I was having a good time. As soon as I go in, I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm in fucking heaven. Like every fucking where I look, I am in love instantly. Like there's so many freaking hot guys in there. And, but yeah, I was just dancing, having a good time. There's a guy that came up behind me. Just as soon as I felt someone, it was crazy because it was like I was dancing and then I just felt fucking hands. And as soon as I felt those fucking hands, I was wet as a motherfucker. I was oh my God, that was so sexy. But yeah, I mean,
what do you mean you felt hands?
Like I'm dancing behind me. Like he comes up behind me and puts his hands on my hips, or like around my, not around my waist, but like around my hips, and just kind of pulls me back to him. Like, who the fuck is that? I'm a stranger. I could have been there with my husband. But yeah, so we were dancing and I was fucking horny as hell because it's something we talk about, but it's something we've always fantasized about. So just the fact that it's actually happening,
it had to have been because, like you said, we've always just talked about it. So it's always been one of those things like you don't even know how you're going to actually react in those kind of situations,
right? How
it's going to play out. So to be on the dance floor, your husband's at home, even though we've talked about it 1,000 times, it had to have been on some level kind of like, I'm a cheating slut out here. You know what I mean? Because you've never been touched by another man. And now you have this black guy just doing whatever the fuck he wants out there. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah. I don't want to tell the story because I know the story, but obviously don't want to tell it for you.
Right. So yeah, I exactly. Like I never knew it was going to happen like that. And I never thought it would happen. So when it did happen, I fucking loved it. So we're dancing on the dance floor. He's behind me, pulling me into him. I feel his fucking cock is hard. That sent me like I was just in heaven, But it was getting late. We were dancing all night. We were sweating, having a good time. He was touching my titties. Just, oh my God, on the dance floor, But it was time to go. And so I asked him, where does he live around here? Or, what's the deal? And he was just like, yeah, I live around here. We went outside together. We were just talking. And then he said that his cousin was there with him. So I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, just wait here. And so, I was just like, okay. I felt a little weird, I'm just standing out in the parking lot by myself. There's, with a car that I've never seen before. Like, it wasn't my car. It was kind of weird. But whenever he came back, we went over to like the side of the building.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so nervous. I cannot even explain. Like,
because it's like it's happening, but at the same time, you're like,
should I be doing this right now?
Every little movement you make, it's like, this is way too real. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Oh, you want me? Okay, I'll keep going.
I just took a drink. Sorry. So
you, the guy you met, and his cousin are all out there on the side of the club.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're all out there. I'm nervous. I'm like you said, I kind of like to be, I kind of have to be talked into things. You know, this is a little bit different, but not that much, because I'm married. I've never cheated on you before. You're the only man I've ever been with. I love black men. Like, that's my complete fantasy. So it's very disarming to be in that situation where you have everything you've ever fucking wanted right there in front of you. All you have to do is take it. But there's that hesitation because I'm fucking married. But he started pulling his zipper down. I don't know what came over me. I just fucking dropped down to my knees. I could not. I don't know. I just couldn't help myself. And yeah, I thought at the very beginning, I'm cheating on my husband right now. But at that point, I'm there. I'm already doing it. I might as well fucking enjoy myself, you know?
Yeah.
So, his cousin's behind me. He's in front of me. I'm sucking his fucking long dick. Like, it's, you know, whenever we were in bed, we were talking about, like, I was telling you, like, what I wanted his cock to look like. How long I wanted it to be. How thick I wanted it to be. All the fucking veins and the big balls and all that shit. Like, that's what was there.
I wonder if this video will get demonetized.
Probably not.
I think this is suitable for most advertisers.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was everything that I ever fucking wanted on, like, right there in front of me. So I'm sucking his dick. His cousin is still behind me. I know he's there. I know probably what he's about to do. You know, so that's exactly what happens. He grabs my hips and pulls me up and pulls my dress up, rubs my pussy, puts my head down on that guy, on his cousin's dick, you know. It all on the fucking side of a building while people are, you know, it's in the summer. There's people walking around everywhere.
Guys, if this starts getting more sloppy and sloppy, it's because we're both horny, we're both high and drunk. So just
bear with us.
The third gummy hasn't even kicked in yet, bro. Just you're in for a bumpy ride. Just hang in there. Think about your grandma. I know you guys are motherfuckers are fucking hard right now.
What?
I don't know. Okay, stop.
So
that's funny, man.
That was a good use of that. So I'm sucking the first guy's dick.
It's almost like it's a movie and you never learn their names. It's like before they give names
1 and 2.
Before they give names to the characters, they're just black guy 1, black guy 2. That's like basically what's going on here.
Yeah.
You never even knew their names.
I don't even know what their names are.
That's hilarious.
And they're out there somewhere and they have no idea I'm sitting here talking about them.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder where they're at. I wonder if they've ever seen you and it's like, oh, I fucked that girl.
No, I don't think they have.
You know, yeah, you look completely different.
Well,
you had auburn hair. You didn't wear...
Yeah, I had all my freckles. I didn't wear hardly any makeup.
Yeah.
And I was thinner. But I don't think that I have seen them or they've seen me, because if I would have seen them, I would remember their faces. I may not know their name, but I always remember faces.
And if they've seen you around here, surely if they saw you on Twitter, Facebook, maybe somehow recognized you.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's not like your face looks... I mean, your face was a little thinner, but, you know, you're the same girl.
Yeah.
But if they saw you now, 10, 20, 15 years later, their minds would be blown. Because you look 10 times hotter now than you did 10 years ago, which is...
I don't really necessarily believe that.
I did. Well, okay, that's not. Well, that's for another
neither
time.
here nor there. But
By the way, that's a compliment.
I know, and I take the compliment.
You're 35. I'm sorry. You're way hotter at 35 than 25, just because the way you've learned how to do your hair, your makeup, your lashes, your nails. It's not even close.
I always agreed with
okay,
you,
so
but I didn't
you're on
want
the side
to
of the club.
I didn't want to sound conceited.
You're on the side of the club.
Mm-hmm.
You're with the right people. You're in the right place. What happened? This is getting ridiculous. People are like, dude, my dick's getting soft here. Can y'all get back on track?
Okay. All right. So let me just go back to where we're at. We're on the side of the club. Black guy 1 is in front of me. I'm sucking his long, hard black cock.
Black guy 1.
Black guy 2 is behind me.
Is this racist right now? Black guy 1, black guy 2.
I don't think. Okay, guy 1 and guy 2. Guy 2 is behind me.
BG 1 and BG 2. Just
okay.
Hurry. Just say black guy 1. Just hurry. Oh my God.
Okay, so black guy 2
That's
is behind
funny,
me.
Man.
Okay.
Black guy 2 is behind me. My dress is pulled up. I did have on a thong, so my thong is pulled over. His cock is fucking buried deep inside of me.
Describe that moment when you've literally only been with me, and my dick's not little.
Yeah.
I have a good sized dick, and whatever. I'm proud of it. I mean, look, it is what it is. Okay. 7.5 inches, pretty thick, pretty damn good.
Shut up.
It's not a world breaker. We're not breaking any hearts here, but it'll get me from point A to point B relatively quick. Okay.
You're so dumb. That's funny, man.
Man.
Okay. Anyway, I swear.
Where were we?
I don't care how long this podcast goes. I'm using 2 sounds in those 2. Okay. What order?
What are the other 2?
Funny, man.
Okay. Anyway, so
Nobody's listening at this point.
what were we saying?
You were like, how does it feel?
Yeah, so you go from a monogamous, even though you've talked about some stuff, never really thought you'd do this stuff, but you like talking about it, to actually have, when that moment, because your pussy back then is still super tight.
Mm-hmm.
Not too tight, I mean. Okay. So.
Oh my God.
In that moment, you've always fantasized about black guys. Now you have a big, long black cock sliding just deep inch by inch by inch. And it's like that moment when that cock is inside of you, you're in your early 20s, super conservative, and now you have this long black dick. It's in. I mean, you don't have a time stone. Okay, we're not going back. You've done it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like that moment, like that's got to be such a rush.
It's really hard to describe that feeling. It's so many emotions. It's not just so many emotions, but I feel my mouth is full, my pussy is full. I have sexy, big, strong black hands and sexy, big, strong black men in front and behind me. Oh my God, that's huge. That's amazing. All of the emotions. I mean, there was surprise. There was pleasure. There was submissiveness. There was so many different things going on. It was amazing.
Maybe a little bit of regret because it's so new.
Yes,
it's got to be like 20 different emotions at once.
And I didn't know how you would actually react to it. I mean, because it's something that we talked about doing, but like neither one of us really
There's
thought
a
it
big
was going to
difference
happen.
between talking about something and doing something.
And actually doing it. Yeah, for sure.
And then for it to happen, and it wasn't really with my consent. You know what I'm saying?
Not at all.
And it's just, and it's not with one guy that we didn't plan it. So not only it was unplanned, it happened. 2 guys, 2 big dicks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I wasn't even drunk.
I thought you were.
No, I was sober. Not sober. But it wasn't like I was sloppy drunk. You know what I mean? My inhibitions were kind of gone, but...
Yeah. So you were tipsy, you were just not drunk.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
So it's one of those things where you could have been sober, because like, it's not... I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't... You didn't do it because you were drunk. You did it because your fancy and inhibitions just were not cooperating.
Right. With each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was an amazing experience. The cousin, after fucking me for probably 3 to 5 minutes. He came inside my pussy. He pulled his fucking pants up, slapped my ass, and walked away. And then the black guy one came around and started fucking me. And I'm up against the wall on the side of the building. He's behind me. He's just got his hands around my hips and just pulling me into him. You know.
You're getting fucked.
Oh my God. Fuck yes. It was incredible. He came in my where'd he come? I think he came on my face.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
We'll forgive you if you're getting... And again, some of the details may be switched around a little bit because you told a story before, but
yeah.
We're drunk. It was a long time ago. So
yeah, either way. It was amazing.
Either way, you get a train run on you by two black guys, and that was the first time you had any sex other than your husband.
Yes.
It's nuts.
It's crazy.
So that was... Okay, so you've been doing sex work for like 2 or 3 years, actually getting paid for it. So I would say 10 years before that, all in all, it's been like 14 years since you've had sex. We've been married for 16, so for about 14, you've been fucking other men.
Yeah.
So you probably went the last 10 years literally just fucking black guys because you just like fucking black guys.
Yeah, it was just something that was fun. It was something that added to our marriage. We had amazing sex every night. Yeah, damn near every single night.
We're in our mid to late 30s, and we're still fucking at least
almost
daily. Like 5 times a week, probably.
Yeah, it is crazy. It's in, you know. And then I had like, it wasn't a flip phone, but the first phone I started recording on was like the kind that has this slide up with the whole keyboard on it. I mean, it was very old.
Yeah.
You know, I started recording it so that you could see it.
Yeah, so we could come home, watch it together, and fuck.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was so much fun.
And then we went from there to adult space. So do you remember like why did we decide to put it online? Like I don't even remember.
I will tell you exactly.
Okay.
So it was when I was playing Xbox a lot. Because I was working overnights. Do you remember whenever I took the whole turkey sausage down my throat?
Vaguely.
Yeah. So it was when we lived outside of Fayetteville.
Okay. Those details are retarded.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's fat on the story. Anyway, so you took a video of me putting a whole sausage down my throat and then pulling it back out. And we put it on YouTube.
Like one of those long sausages?
Yeah.
Is that still on YouTube?
No, because they wouldn't put it on there.
Really?
They did not approve it. So I was, can you imagine?
I don't remember any of this. This is crazy.
Yeah. So I was on Xbox and there was a guy that I was playing Xbox with all the time. We played spades together and Uno and Call of Duty, all that stuff. So I was telling him about it and he was like, I know where you could put that video and it wouldn't get taken down. It's called Adult Space.
Oh, okay.
And so that is how the whole thing started. But it was, So we put that video on Adult Space.
But but why? Did we just want other people to see it? I don't remember why we wanted to get you doing stuff with black guys online. I don't remember how that started or why. Because you started taking the videos for us to watch together. So why? So I don't remember the conversation at all.
I think I know why. Maybe I think it was because I was taking videos and other people were taking, like the guys would take videos of me too, and they put them online. No, that wasn't it. Because I can't. I don't remember.
Either way, there's a website called Adult Space. It was like Facebook for porn, pretty much. Mm-hmm. And you used to put your videos on there, and because it was so raw and amateur and real, there was no money. It was like you're just being a white married slut, fucking black guys taking video, and it was real. Like you were there to do that.
Yeah, I was taking the video with my cell phone.
Yeah, not trying to make a dime. You just want to fuck black guys and you want to film it.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep.
So you started putting it on Adult Space, and man, you had so many followers and so many views. I mean, your videos were getting millions of views.
Mm-hmm.
So Adult Space actually reached it because they had like a premium version or something like that. Like, hey, can we give you the VIP?
Yeah.
You know, just because you attract so
Yeah.
much. I think back in the day, you're adult. People think you do well on Twitter and all that. You were like underground, amateur, interracial famous because back 10, 15 years ago, it's pretty prominent now.
Yeah.
But there wasn't like a huge
Market.
there wasn't like a huge interracial real white married woman doing this. I mean, I'm sure there were doing some, but it wasn't drawing
like
such a crowd.
mainstream. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And your stuff's always been very amateur, shot with cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
People love that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
So we were putting all those videos on YouTube. I was getting tons of followers, tons of messages. And then, I mean, whenever we uploaded the videos, you always made sure that that nobody could steal the video. But people did. They stole those videos.
Whenever there's websites like that, unless it's like a really well encrypted, protected website, there's some nerd out there can find a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So they were stealing those videos off of there, and I had no idea, and you had no idea, and they were putting them on different websites online.
Yeah.
And so somehow I found out, someone told me or showed me that there's a video of me on one of these free porn sites, and I didn't know how it got there. You know, we talked about that, but then it started happening all the time. It was like they were taking all of my videos and putting them online for free, or I don't know, maybe they made money off of it. I don't know, but I mean, they were doing that for years, and I just kind of accepted it. You know?
I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
there's nothing you can do about it. But I was still having fun. I wasn't going to stop.
And you weren't making any money, so it wasn't like they were taking money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I didn't really even think about that. I didn't wonder if they were making money or anything like that.
We never even, up until a couple of years ago, making money is like, how do you make money with this? You know what I mean? Like there was no plan to make money.
Right.
Until here within the last couple of years, then you had like OnlyFans, mini vids, and it's like, wait a minute. You have a million things out there. You're still fucking guys. You're still making videos. So let's try to
make some money off of it.
Up the production a little bit and make some money.
Yeah. And
honestly, I know that was like a long story to get to a very short climax, but that's how you became a sex worker.
Right.
Just literally, it was probably the most organic progression to some innocent thing. It was like the most longest, drawn out progression, and there was never no plan to be a sex worker. It literally just kind of flowed and happened.
Exactly. And I wouldn't even call myself, it's weird because I never even thought about calling myself a sex worker
That's
until
interesting.
very recently.
Yeah, well, you know what? Obviously, you have sex, you make money, so you could call you a sex worker. It's almost like you're doing it the opposite way. You're not just some girl who has sex to make money. You're a girl who has sex and makes money.
Yeah.
Because you've been this slut for so long. This is just what you've done, and you just kind of casually flicked it on a few different websites that could make you money, and boom, you're making money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy how that happened, but you know, I mean, there's cam girls who don't have sex with other men, and they are classified as sex workers.
No, it's true.
You know, I mean, there's lots of women. Anything I think sexual. If you do any kind of job that's sexual, I would say probably even a stripper is a sex worker. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, like you said, I mean, it was just so. It was, but I think organic is probably the perfect word for it because it started when I was probably born.
It's literally something you just kind of walked into.
Yeah.
It wasn't some long, drawn out decision making. Do I want to quit this job and become a sex worker? I mean, you just were a slut making a lot of videos and then found a few websites that would pay you for it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Exactly.
And the good news is you're aging pretty well. So even though you're 35, a girl that's in her mid late 30s, 40s, it's like, okay, you should probably start to hang it up.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, you could probably go another 10 to 15 years before you looked what some would say old for this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of money to be made for you yet.
Yeah, because even like I think a really big thing, and it may even get bigger, is the MILF or the the older 40-year-old woman. I could probably be 45 and go past as like 40.
I bet you could go to. We don't want to do this forever, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But if we did want to do it forever, and you decided you want to go to 50, I think you could be a 50-year-old that looks more like, because you always looked a little bit young for your age.
Yeah.
I bet you could be 50 going for passing as 40, 45 MILF, and if you're still wanting to do just black guys, fucking young black guys, like the MILF thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Look, people aren't going to stop being born. They're going to stop growing. There's not going to be a shortage of people that like white males fucking young black guys.
You know what's so crazy about when you just said that, what it made me think of? I have gotten a message from like a fan or whatever, and he said, "Oh my God, I'd love to fuck you. Do you fuck fans?" Of course, I'm like, "Yes, I do fuck fans." And he's like, "I have wanted to fuck you for so many years." And just him saying that, I was just like,
I've been doing this for a long time.
What? Wow. And he was in his mid-20s, and he started watching me when he was like a teenager, still in high school.
So you were doing it before he even knew to jerk off. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, he knew to jerk off. He was a teenager.
No, I'm saying let's say he was 22,
mm-hmm.
and he's been wanting to fuck you since he was 16.
Yeah.
That's 6 years. My point is, you were doing it before that.
Yeah.
Saying you're making videos, doing your thing, fucking black guys before this young. I'm assuming he was black.
Yeah.
Before he even knew who you were, and
exactly.
now all these years later, he's still a fan. Maybe
that,
you're too old for this shit.
I know.
we're getting to like granny territory here. Been wanting to fuck you for 40 years.
Yeah, that was crazy conversation.
Yeah. I don't know. Did we answer the question? I don't even know.
I'm a sex worker.
I'm gonna apply title this one. How I became a sex worker. I think we did.
That's fun.
I think we did a pretty decent job of explaining the backstory, how you started doing it, how you got into getting paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
Keep those titties in there.
I am.
Okay. All right, honey. Do you want to send them off?
Yes, thank you guys so much for listening to our conversation and enjoying this podcast. Come back. We have a lot more content to come, and we'll see you guys later.
Yeah. Oh, just real quick. Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching on YouTube, if you really want to help this grow and you support what she does, hit the like button. Of course, your subscription would be amazing, but how videos grow and get more notoriety on YouTube is the likes. The likes are a big deal because it shows YouTube that people really like this video.
Mm-hmm.
So give a quick like and subscribe. And if you're listening to this, leave us a 5-star review and a rating. Tell Katrina if you're a fan of hers. And
if you're not, that's fine. Let me know. Yeah. I'm open to it.
If you support this lifestyle and you support Katrina and our stories and kind of what we do, show us that love by subscribing and liking and reviewing.
Yes. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care.